It is Obi-Wan Kenobi Wednesday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. A young man on Instagram returned from the doctor with a bit of a death sentence, told he would most likely not see his 60th year. That is sobering. That is heavy. Feeling heavy and sad and frightened and a little bit angry when receiving news like that is normal and it's healthy. We evolved to hunger for life, to hunger literally for our next meal, for our next breath. This is not a sign of spiritual failure. This means we have health. Let's face it, check the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual. They'll tell you that if you no longer want those things, you're most likely suffering from clinical depression. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to live. There's nothing wrong with being troubled by our impending mortality. The question is, what are we going to do with that which we notice? After all, the first enlightenment factor is mindfulness. According to the Buddha, the wise thing to do is notice what we're feeling, even when what we're noticing is painful and ugly and scary, and yes, sometimes even grotesque. Notice, notice, notice. Well, that's Jim Dandy. Sometimes we cannot help but notice. What then do we do with that which we perceive? Every time we breathe out, whether we want to or not, we are automatically wired to access our parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the bottom third and the top third of our spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to help us to support both physical relaxation and mental release. Relaxing into sorrow, relaxing into fear, helps us to resist it a little bit less. It has been said in the Dhammapada that drop by drop, the vase is filled, or the pitcher is filled. Similarly, in the face of painful emotions, to choose to breathe into vulnerability and relax into and exhale into relaxation ensures that those motions that are sometimes strong and sometimes turbulent and sometimes self-destructive, will not control our choices or our utterances or our deeds. That's a very good thing. Consider two archetypes, if you will. There is the Buddha and there is his foolish cousin. His foolish cousin was rigid and controlling, and the Buddha was flexible and laid back. So the Buddha's foolish cousin, his response to impermanence is to analyze it. The Buddha's response is far simpler. As we sit in meditation, or as we walk briskly in meditation, all sorts of thoughts will sort of cartwheel across the metaphoric stage of our mind. Some of those will be perceptions, sights, sounds, and the like. Others will be emotions. Others will be intentions. Others will be thoughts. Others will be memories. Others will be imaginings. Whatever comes up, strong or subtle, quick or slow, heavy or light, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque, we notice it as we breathe in. We release it as we breathe out. Now, here's a little trick of the trade. If you're sitting in meditation, during your inhalation, silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. It'll help you to. It's the only label you need ever use. During your exhalation, silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease. It will help you to release. That's great when you're sitting, but what do you do when you're briskly walking around your block? Haha. Replace those words with their three-syllable counterparts. As you breathe in, silently and mentally recite, noticing. As you exhale, silently and mentally recite, releasing. These things are not affirmations, for affirmations are magical wishes we make, hoping to change reality. What we're doing is labeling processes that are already occurring within our central nervous system in an attempt to get the big old 3-pound supercomputer between our ears to stop resisting or repressing them and begin cooperating with them. Is that it? Is that the key to immortality? Will that cure cancer? Will that reverse heart disease? No. But it will help us to deal with the insurmountable. Even when the insurmountable is political.